Greetings, fellow test subjects. Test subject 1337 here for Aperture Gaming. They make it, we test it, you play it. And welcome to the Better Late Than Never review. We are going to cover, this is a very special edition of the Aperture Gaming because we are covering not one, not two, but three, count them, three games. We're covering a, first impression of a game I got to try for free before it came out on release. We'll be covering a game that was released that I bought and got to play a little bit, and then we'll be covering a beta because the beta is now over. Okay, so with that, let's get the show on the roll. Starting with Nioh, N-I-O-H. It's a game that takes place in Japan during the era of like samurai. Basically, to describe this game, I'd say it is Dark Souls in Japan. It is created by Team Ninja. So like Dark Souls meets Ninja Gaiden in a sense, I guess. The country's been taken over. There's a darkness that's taken over the place, and you have to use 4 weapons: a sword, a long range melee weapon, a bow and arrow, and a flintlock, a matchstick flintlock rifle. Yeah, so then you have to fight off either humans that have been possessed or evil, and then you have to fight off Oni. So, and if you die, you have to try to get back to the spot where you died to reclaim your stuff to get all your money and experience points and whatnot back. Yeah, there's shrines where you have to pray to get to level up yourself and your gear and your skills. You have to find little spirits to help them navigate their way back to the shrine, so they can help you with various stuff. And of course, like I said, this is a first impression. I thought the game was good. We here at the Aperture Gaming weren't too fond of Dark Souls, but this one it was all right, pretty good. If I had some more time to play it, it would have probably got a higher score. But this is just a first impression. But it was a good one. So we give Nioh. If I'm pronouncing this wrong, I apologize profusely. I just spelled it out, so best of my abilities. So Nioh. It's out now. It's Dark Souls in Japan. It's pretty good. We give it 8 out of 10. All right. Next, we'll move on to a game that I saw this information about this. It was my childhood. Saban's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Let's see. I think it's Mega Force. In post, I'll put the information that says whether it's right or not. Okay, so yeah, this is basically Power Rangers. If I had to describe this, it's like an arcade game. It's like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, only it's on your console. I got it for the PS4. The game, and when you get it, you get a special edition where you can unlock the ability to recruit one of the other. You get the 5. You start with the 5 Rangers, but then as you play through the game, you can unlock a 6th and/or 7th Ranger. And the best part is this is like from back. It's paying tribute and homage to like the old school original Power Rangers from the 90s. It's all the characters are illustrated, and the illustrations look pretty good, pretty spot on, like what you saw from the show, both in the cutscenes and actually fighting. It's pretty cool. The game has 5 or 6 levels, 5 or 6 levels, and each level is divided into 3 segments. And then like in the first segment, you're just the regular kid, but then as you fight, you build up enough power to do it's Morphin time. That's for the first half of the first mission. And as you go through, then you're the Power Ranger. Second mission, you're still the Power Ranger. Third mission, you have to use the Zords. I liked doing that. You have to do like a tank mode where you have to shoot at the giant monsters, and then you actually got to be the Megazord, the full combo one. Only instead of actually combat, it was a button combo mashing game to get the combo right to finish off the monster. Yeah, so I was kind of disappointed at that. The music is good. It is like really close to the original stuff, but they don't do the whole shebang. Like they do their own, like they do interpretation of it where it's like 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10, close to beating it, but then they cut off and then loop back to the beginning. The music is pretty good, like for the combat scenes, for the regular stuff, and then like they actually have Bulk and Skull theme music, which was pretty hilarious. It's a side-scrolling beat 'em up fighter game, and there's also some areas where you actually can go to pick up some collectible stuff. So there is side objectives. This was a good game. Oh, and also we select the Rangers. Here's what, since they had like a cast change for when the show was going through, it's not always just like the same guy or gal playing the same Ranger. So they actually have, you want this guy who was the Red Ranger, and you want this guy who was the Red Ranger. The Blue Ranger was the same guy, and then Yellow Ranger, Pink Ranger, Black Ranger, and then there's the 2 special Rangers you unlock. It's pretty awesome. It's a good story. It's like, and I can see how this is being released now to help hype up the release of the upcoming film, the new Power Rangers. Kind of excited for that. So for nostalgia's sake, we give Mega Force, Mega Battle, we give the Saban's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, we give that a 9 out of 10. Alright, on now to the beta of For Honor! Woo! Alright, for those of you who've been living under a rock for a pretty good while, For Honor comes to us from Ubisoft. The premise, imagine if somehow, like back in the ye olden days, the area where all the Vikings were, the area where all the knights were, and somehow the area where all the samurai were, somehow there was like a massive cataclysmic earthquake, and all 3 of these lands came together. And now they have to fight. First you choose your faction, and the best part, it's like where you get, who you donate the resources for, and who gets the best land claim. But the thing is, just because you pick a faction, that doesn't mean you have to start playing that specific group forever. You can switch between the knights, the Vikings, and the samurai. It was hugely announced that after this game went live, they'd start doing a whole bunch of DLC. And like for a season pass, they released new levels and new playable characters. Yeah, so it's basically, it's an online, the game's focus is going to be online, but there's going to be like some offline story content I've heard rumors of. If this is going to be online, I'm pretty sure you might need I'm guessing you're going to need a PlayStation Network, PlayStation Plus account. Yeah, so the game is, you're in a location, there's 3 areas. Well, there's 5 areas. There's your base, there's the enemy's base, and then there's 3 neutral sites. The objective is to control those neutral sites, and then slay as many enemies as possible. There's the generic soldiers that fight for you, and then there's like the opposition, which controls one of the generals of the battlefield. Yeah, it's like Dynasty Warriors, only instead of just feudal era Japan, it's Japan meets samurai and Viking. Okay. Yeah, fun game, very violent. It's rated M for mature. I think so is Nioh. Power Rangers was teen, good for teenagers. Nioh was M, definitely don't let the kids play this. Might be a little bit nightmarish. And For Honor, blood and violence, not for the kids. So let's see. Yeah, you get and they have this weird way where you can defend yourself. It's about positioning your weapon, and then that's also how you attack. There's blocking, block breaks. You can interact with the environment to help take out your foes. There's been a whole bunch of video coverage for this game up for the release of this. And me and several other people, we got to participate in the beta. They had the closed beta, and they just finished wrapping up the open beta. And of course, this game will be coming out on Valentine's Day. Very interesting gift for a Valentine's Day gift. Yeah, very great graphics. Interesting to see how they'll do like a story mode or whatnot, and to see them release the new content with the new characters and the new weapons, the new locations. So yeah, I liked it when I got the chance to play it. Very entertaining. So we here at Aperture Games, we give For Honor. Let's see. The thing that bugs me a little bit is how this might require a PlayStation Plus account, but it's from Ubisoft, so it reminds me a little bit of like what we used to do. It's like Dynasty Warriors meets the Assassin's Creed multiplayer thing. Only, just there's changes. It has some stuff from both, but takes some stuff out from my. Yeah, you get what I mean. Yeah, so we give. Let's see. 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, so Nioh gets an 8. For Honor, 8.5. And Saban's Power Rangers, a solid 9. That's all the time we have for this episode. Thank you for watching the Aperture Gaming Better Late Than Never review. Until next time, this is Test Subject 1337 saying thank you for watching, and as always, game on!